Hi there, this is week 3, assignment 3 feedback for Victor, Jordan, Raul, and Arianna. So let's go back to Victor. Victor, really great job. I love this sort of collection of triangles. Oh, I guess I should step back. The split complementary color harmonies are good. The palettes are correct, and now just kind of focusing on the designs. I really think that these are interesting shapes. I would recommend kind of switching it up just a bit. So if this, don't make each shape exactly the same. Make this little pod back here a unique set of colors. Just kind of change the colors. Maybe think about turning it in a different direction so that it becomes a cluster of these shattered sort of shapes overlapping each other. And don't forget to turn on the mask layer. It looks like the mask layer needs to be activated. So make sure to go back. If you don't know how to do that, there are directions on doing it in week 1 assignment 3's video tutorial, and I believe week 2 assignment 3's video tutorial. You'll want to stretch out that background color a little bit more so that when you activate the mask layer, it's cropping off a small amount of that background color. But again, just kind of working with a little bit more, that'll create more contrast in shape. Right now we have contrast in size. So this shape back here is smaller than this one in the foreground, but everything's, triangular. I think if we add more color uniqueness to each one of these pods, if you will, that will bring in even more contrast and more of a unique quality to those individual shapes. Let's see, Jordan, for me this is still working more as a design for the depth assignment. I want you to explore more complex shapes as illustrated in the video tutorials. The harmonies are correct and the palettes are correct. I want to get in more unique shapes into the design. You can sort of explore the techniques that are shown in the video tutorials, or maybe do some research on unique shapes through YouTube or just kind of Googling it, so that you're exploring shape contrast as well as color contrast. Right now we only have contrast in size. We don't have contrast in shape. So really bringing in more unique shapes so that you can explore maybe the juxtaposition of organic versus geometric, or angular versus sort of soft edges. So more shape contrast in the design. Also more of the colors from your palette. Right now we don't really have the dark values from your palette in the composition. So bringing in more of the colors from the palette so that you're exploring an even more complex contrast scenario. Let's see, Raul, really great job of utilizing those unique shapes from the tutorials. You want to make sure, if we're looking at how this larger circle sits in the background, make sure that it's kind of in the crosshairs. Put it in the center of the design. Looks like we're seeing a little bit more of the edge over here, and we're seeing a little bit more of the background on the bottom. So I would set that circle immediately in the crosshairs or the center of your design. That will help create a stronger sense of formality in your composition. And then think about the focal point. So we're going to naturally kind of gravitate to that center area of the design. I think the color choice on the right side is working for the focal point, but I think it could be more dynamic on the left. Think about a dark versus a light, a saturated versus a desaturated. That will really help to bring color contrast into the focal area of your composition. See, Arianna, really beautiful design. Great use of high and low contrast. For me, I'm kind of losing this little shape down here in the edge. I don't necessarily think it's necessary. I would kind of get rid of that little shape. But I would also make this bottom shape maybe a little bit larger so that some of these spikes are engaging the middle part of the design. And then I want you to determine which one you want to be the focal point. Is it going to be the top left or the bottom right? And then utilize the brightest, the most saturated, maybe playing around with visual vibration in that area alone, and then allowing the other burst shape to have lower contrast so that we have a really strong focal point in your design.